Now on CBC Vancouver News.
For Comox, this moment carries hope.
The province moves ahead on a treaty with the Vancouver Island First Nation, while other claims and court rulings continue to cause stress.
The challenges we're having on the land base in British Columbia is because of our lack of treaties.
Plus,
helps, I guess, like 10 cents a liter.
The Prime Minister temporarily cuts the federal excise tax on fuel. What does that mean for you?
My monthly is almost 700 to 800. Right now is 1100.
And
it's unnerving to think, we can't get proper service when you need it.
the emergency room at Mission Hospital is closed late nights and overnights for a month. The worries for patients and the push to reopen 24/7.
Right now, we are 2.5 full-time physicians away from stable staffing.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. It has taken decades of negotiations, but the province has now introduced legislation for a treaty with Comox First Nation on central Vancouver Island. As Katie Grocer reports, both the government and official opposition agree it will provide clarity amid battles over other land claims and court rulings.
Today marks a historic milestone for Comox First Nation and British Columbia.
A modern treaty that BC's Premier says will bring certainty after more than 30 years of talks.
It reflects a choice between conflict and refusal to recognize rights and the choice to cooperate.
For Comox, this moment carries hope.
Hope that once the treaty is finalized by Ottawa within the next 2 years, it will provide clarity, a departure from recent battles over other land claims in BC. The fallout from 2 major court cases over Aboriginal rights and title has become the biggest political issue facing the NDP government. One granted the Cowichan Nation title over a patch of land in Richmond, raising concerns about private property rights. The other, over Indigenous consultation and mining, has left the Premier trying to defend his plan to change DRIPA, the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act.
Aboriginal title exists all over British Columbia. And that if the province had entered into treaties when we started back in 1993, we wouldn't have to worry about this.
The Premier has now hit pause on his efforts to suspend sections of DRIPA in the face of internal caucus divisions and backlash from First Nations leaders. The BC Conservatives have called for DRIPA to be repealed entirely, arguing the government has failed to protect private property rights. But their Indigenous Affairs critic applauds the Comox Treaty.
The challenges we're having on the land base in British Columbia is because of our lack of treaties.
The treaty is getting some pushback from the Wewakam First Nation, whose traditional territories overlap with Comox.
These treaties are supposed to be the highest form of reconciliation with the Crowns, but they must include the reconciliation with their neighbors.
Roberts says they are considering legal action to challenge the treaty, meaning the certainty the Premier promised is not a done deal. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.
Some relief could be on the way for Canadians who have been watching the price of gas spike since the start of the war in the Middle East. In his first move since securing a majority government, Mark Carney says he's pausing the federal fuel excise tax. Caroline Bargout now with why critics say it won't relieve enough pressure on people.
Canadians could soon see the price at the pumps go down. The first move of Mark Carney's majority to announce a pause on one of its taxes on gas.
To be clear, today's cut to the fuel excise tax is a responsible, temporary measure consistent with what it takes to build a stronger economy.
The fuel tax holiday will begin on Monday and end on Labor Day. It will amount to a 10-cent reduction on a litre of gas, a 4-cent drop on a litre of diesel, and 4 cents off a litre of aviation fuel. Experts say that works out to an average of $8 off a tank of gas and $4 off diesel.
It's great. Price has been going up so much. It's good to have some relief.
It helps, I guess, like 10 cents a liter, but overall, like it's still a little too pricey.
Not enough. Not enough.
The Conservatives agree the cuts don't go far enough and are calling on the government to also remove GST from fuel.
Canadians cannot afford to gas their tanks. We want all gas taxes eliminated for the rest of the year.
The war in Iran effectively shutting down the Strait of Hormuz has caused prices to spike. On average, Canadians are paying about 39 cents more for a litre of gas since the start of the war.
Ultimately, the fuel disruption is still going to be felt likely throughout the summer, because we're at that stage where this disruption has gone on long enough that it's going to take a long time to resolve.
And they warn prices could keep climbing.
If oil prices surge late this week, that may again eat into the potential relief that we could see early next week.
And it's not just at the pumps. Many of the major airlines have added a fuel surcharge fee to offset their rising costs.
Caroline Bargout reporting. Now, people living on the Sunshine Coast could soon have another option to get to and from the mainland. An all-electric passenger ferry between downtown Vancouver, Bowen Island, and Gibsons is moving closer to reality. As Alana Kelly explains, the park board says the operator can now dock on the city's waterfront.
I'm on Bowen Island in the ferry lineup for the 7:30 a.m. ferry.
Katrina Perkins is waiting for her ferry, like she does 3 days a week.
If you're not in line by, I would say, 45 minutes early on the Horseshoe Bay side, you're not getting on.
Soon she could have another option, an all-electric passenger ferry.
Which will probably reduce my commute by at least an hour. It's fantastic.
All in favor?
The Vancouver Park Board gave the green light for Circle Ferries to operate out of Harbour Green Dock, where the vessels will charge.
Vancouver really does not use its waterfront to its full potential.
The City of Vancouver will take ownership of the dock from the Park Board, but the profits will be shared 50-50.
Ensures that some revenue comes back to ensure that the supporting infrastructure, the parkway, the walkways, the water park, the bathrooms.
The plan is to start operating in 2028.
Dial this into the lives of Vancouverites and folks from Gibsons and Bowen as a commuter ferry service, so they can go back and forth with ease.
There are two ferries. The Bowen route takes 40 minutes. The Gibsons route is 70 minutes. Each way will cost $20 to $30. The vessel can carry 150 people, 20 bikes, and 4 wheelchairs.
I mean, the dock that I'm standing on will be replaced by the passenger ferry dock.
On the Sunshine Coast, Gibson's mayor is thrilled.
This has been a dream of Gibson's for over a decade, to have a reliable passenger ferry.
He says it's essential.
It's not only for medical appointments, work, very essential parts of people's daily lives, but also for our economy.
The project was estimated to cost $60 million, which has gone up.
I mean, this is a big venture. It costs a lot of money.
It's not all smooth sailing.
There is a lot of work that still needs to happen. We're ready to go here to start moving ahead.
He's on board to make it happen. Alana Kelly, CBC News, Squamish.
And still close to the water, the Vancouver Aquarium is proposing some massive changes to its facility. Amelia John has more on plans for the outdoor pools, including an underwater feature.
This is how the BC Wild Coast pools at the Vancouver Aquarium could look if a development application is approved by the City of Vancouver. According to a recent report from the Park Board, the project will include several repairs and replacements, but the big draw, the underwater tunnel.
I would like that.
To me, it looks really nice.
I think it's a great idea. They got to do something out. You know, they lost the whales.
The upgrades would focus on the outdoor pools that were once home to whales and dolphins years ago, but now house sea lions and seals.
It'll actually reduce the total amount of water that are contained in the pools there, but it'll improve the quality of the water as well. So it has benefits for viewers and visitors, and it's going to have benefits for the animals as well.
The cost hasn't been made public, but would be funded by the aquarium's private owners, Hershon Family Entertainment.
You know, I'm a Green Party guy. I'm sometimes a bit skeptical about animals in cages and in zoos, but they have shown outstanding care for the animals.
Visitors say viewing tunnels offer a different perspective and can be educational.
I think it looks really good. We have one in Perth that goes underwater and the kids love it.
The closer you can get to the environment and understand animals and understand how we kind of live in the ecosystem, the better it's going to be for all of us.
Public input is now open online until April 20th. The city's director of planning's decision expected after that. If approved, the exhibit would open in late 2027. Amelia John, CBC News, Vancouver.
The emergency room at Mission Hospital is facing its longest period of overnight closures yet. It's only open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day, and that's expected to last until early May. The CBC's Benit Brach has more on the impact to people.
Mission Memorial's hospital ER will be closed overnight from early April to early May, and staffing challenges are a big reason why.
So when a critical service isn't as accessible, what does that mean for the people who call Mission home?
Cheryl Poitras's daughter lives with a severe allergy, but they don't know what it is yet.
And we don't have access to emergency care should this happen again after 5 p.m. is terrifying, because with a child with anaphylaxis, you have minutes. So these closures could be, life and death for her, potentially.
We met the hospital's medical director, Dr. Paul Theron. He says staff are still at Mission's ER 24/7 to help triage people.
If patients require urgent care or stabilization, we can do that on site before transferring away. Right now, we are 2.5 full-time physicians away from stable staffing.
A flood in 2024 also exacerbated staffing troubles. An $18 million ER expansion is underway, set to be finished next March. But emergency care after 5 p.m. remains a worry, especially for those living in more rural areas.
We're in DeRoche right now, which is more of a rural community just east of Mission. And I'm going to go check in on some residents who work in the general store here.
Like, I have a 2-year-old at home, or my husband or my mom, right? If something were to happen to one of us and us all of a sudden having to take a car or wherever to go to Abbotsford or to Chilliwack, right?
Fraser Health says between 2 and 5 patients are being redirected from Mission Hospital to other hospitals. The Abbotsford Hospital is about a 20-minute drive away, Maple Ridge around 30.
We're not seeing a statistically significant increase in patient presentations to those sites.
But it is Mission's longest stretch of evening and overnight ER closures yet.
It's really critical that we try to find a stable response to that issue.
Mission Mayor Paul Horn says he remains optimistic.
People have some insecurity in our community about whether or not the hospital is a valued resource in the Fraser Health system. And I know from the communication I'm having with Fraser Health and with the ministry that these are temporary problems and not reflective of that value. But I also understand why my neighbors are concerned.
This is the absolute last strategy and the last thing we would want to do.
I just want to check up on how you're feeling.
It's a pressure that I feel because we feel responsible to the community. We want our people to know that the hospital is there, that they can expect the same quality of care they can expect at any other site in the health authority or province. And right now, when we're not able to provide that, it is distressing.
Mission Hospital is one of many in BC with staffing challenges. Data from BC's health ministry shows 37 total diversions in Mission from January 2024 to this April. At Lillooet Hospital, there were 118, and at Natsuge Hospital in Fort St. James, 125. Mission resident Len Kelly says staffing a hospital isn't simple, but he wants to see his growing community be prioritized.
Being a senior, being surrounded by seniors, friends and family, it's unnerving to think, we can't get proper service when you need it.
The province says between last March and this February, 110 American health professionals have accepted jobs in Fraser Health, and it continues to hire and train more staff. People here hope that will mean access to round-the-clock care soon. Benit Brach, CBC News, Mission.
The weather update is brought to you by Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
Darius Madavi here with the first look at the rainy forecast.
That's right. Showery, I would say, and improving in terms of the amount of sunshine we're going to be getting. We got some snow on the mountains in southwest BC and parts of the interior today, so good news there for the areas that are really suffering in terms of snowpack. But as we roll this forward, we do have sun coming in and out mixed with some clouds, chance of showers in many areas tomorrow, as well as a slight risk of a thunderstorm in some areas. Convective activity is a possibility on large parts of the island as well as on the lower mainland. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that as we get through tomorrow. Quite a bit of clearing coming on Thursday, and then Friday, slight chance of a morning shower, but not too high. And then temperatures, Dan, also coming up again once we get into Thursday.
All right, we'll wait. Thanks.
Thank you.
A popular BC water spot is very low. How replenishing Asuyus Lake could become a cross-border collaboration. Next. It is a plan that promises big changes to the center of Surrey. City Council has taken its first look at the future of Newton. Saurabh Sandhu has the details.
It helps us unlock development potential and provide certainty to developers so we can attract investment to this area.
It's a plan to use public land to build big in Newton, adding new retail and commercial space as well as more than 2,000 residential units.
It leverages key investment that the City of Surrey is committed to the area, including the $310 million community center, new road right-of-way upgrades, in addition to the new bus rapid transit to be delivered through TransLink.
The new master development plan sets the vision for 35 acres of public land owned by the City of Surrey and 5 acres owned by TransLink, located along King George Boulevard near 72nd Avenue. Among other things, the plan includes a reimagined public space around the new Newton Community Center and a transit village west of the King George Boulevard.
We'll be looking for development partners, both private and not-for-profit, to bring this to market. So it will likely be residential, maybe some supportive commercial uses.
The plan notes Newton also offers developers an opportunity to build and deliver townhomes and low to mid-scale wood frame residences and creating a more walkable community.
The old school of putting up a strip mall and just having business here and residential there, it doesn't work for our communities. We need people that live next to the business, next to the coffee shop.
The concept of a walkable community is really popular. It's what works in communities around the world. And so this particular community plan gives us kind of a foundation of where we see the community going to make sure that there's a vision in place to guide decisions that future councils will make when they're looking at permitting and investments in infrastructure.
With a 20 to 30 year timeline, the big changes will take some time. Saurabh Sandhu, CBC News, Surrey.
It is a huge draw for thousands of beachgoers in BC's South Okanagan, but Osoyoos Lake now has historically low water levels. The CBC's Tiffany Goodwin explains why and what could help fill it back up.
Osoyoos Lake rests on the Canada-U.S. border in one of BC's summer hotspots. But right now, the lake's water levels have reached the lowest point in nearly 40 years, prompting concern from officials. David Hutchinson is the chair of the International Osoyoos Lake Board of Control.
This year has been particularly challenging for the lake.
Challenging because of a mild winter, low snowpack, and reduced inflows into the lake. Hutchinson says Osoyoos Lake's water level is impacted by Okanagan Lake and dams throughout the valley and into the United States.
Upstream at the Okanagan Lake, the provincial dam operator's been holding back water to bring Okanagan Lake back into target elevation. And this is critically important to ensure that there's late summer and early fall water supply.
In early March, Osoyoos Lake was about 30 centimeters lower than what's typical this time of year. The town's marina now closed because of the lower water level.
The marina belongs to the town and we're responsible for it. And if we allowed things to happen right now at this low level, it could damage our marina and then we'd have to fix it before we ever did open it.
The low water level is a popular point of conversation among some tourists visiting from the prairies.
The water is so low, I've never seen it that way in over my 10 years of coming here.
It is at a lower level, but I think Mother Nature is going to take care of that.
Water levels have been steadily rising. The Washington State Department of Ecology operates the Zuzul Dam south of the border. It was recently granted permission to increase the flow of water into Osoyoos Lake.
We expect things to be normal by the end of April here.
A positive sign as peak beach season nears. Tiffany Goodwin, CBC News, Osoyoos.
Eastbound and down, a freight train moving through a rainy day in Revelstoke. Snow has been falling higher up, as you can see, but there is some warmer weather on the way. Darius will have your BC-wide weather picture after this. grim anniversary is being marked here in BC. 10 years ago today, the province declared the toxic drug epidemic a public health emergency. That triggered a series of measures meant to save more lives. But as Yasmin Khanea reports, the number of people killed from drugs like fentanyl remains tragically high.
This was one of the last pictures that I took of Liam. And
Mother's Day 2022 was the last time Janet Milbrat saw her son Liam.
And we had a hug, and I said, you know, love you, be good. He goes, love you too, Ma.
The 26-year-old was found dead alone in his apartment just days later after an overdose.
He wanted help. I think he would have eventually sought it out. He didn't get a chance.
Liam is one of more than 18,000 British Columbians killed by toxic drugs since 2016 when the province declared a public health emergency.
I would say there have been some successes.
BC's health minister says the province has tried many things over the decade to save lives, including expanding addiction treatment services and providing uncontaminated drugs to some users. She says some initiatives like opening up more detox beds were more effective than others.
And it's important for all of us to learn and to try new tools, to listen to the experts and take their advice and recommendations, but make public policy decisions too in the context of the society that we're living in.
The government walked back some initiatives as a result of public pushback and safety concerns. For example, it did not extend the decriminalization pilot project, which made it legal for adults to carry small amounts of hard drugs. It also tightened the rules for its safer supply program.
It is very frustrating. It's also, I think,
some drug policy experts worry the province is leaning more on public opinion than on science to inform policy.
Public disorder was there before decriminalization, it was there during decriminalization, and it is there now after decriminalization. So I fundamentally reject the claims that decriminalization failed.
10 years on, BC's health minister says she doesn't know when the public health emergency might end. More people have access to treatment than ever before, with the government expanding services province-wide in recent years. Deaths are slightly down, but still, on average, 5 people die of overdoses every day in BC. Yasmin Khanea, CBC News, Vancouver.
Over the last decade, BC has spent a lot of money and time trying to save more lives. The CBC's Stephen Quinn sat down with BC's health minister for a longer conversation to talk about what works and what hasn't.
More than 18,000 people are dead over that 10-year period. Why should British Columbians believe that anything you have done is working?
I think we have started to see a bit of a turn of the tide, if you will. We were making progress in this before COVID hit, and that threw a wrench into things. And it got worse. And now we are beginning to see overdose deaths come down. We have seen a massive expansion in terms of services and supports across the entire continuum of care, from prevention and early intervention to harm reduction, treatment and recovery, aftercare services. More and more people are getting help. But we know there's no single silver bullet. There's no magic answer to this. It takes a lot of learning, a lot of hard work, and again, building out that care.
Is it possible that we're seeing a reduction in deaths because of attrition? Although that sounds terrible.
Well, we are certainly seeing changes in the drug supply itself, and we are seeing lots of different approaches to treatment and helping to provide those supports for people. And we're also seeing, some things are changing in terms of who this is impacting most, but some things have stayed the same. And we know there are disproportionate impacts, for example, on Indigenous peoples, on people who work in the trades. And that means there's clearly still more work to do. And it's difficult, I think, for anybody to say, is there a single thing that's made a big difference?
If you don't know specifically why the deaths are falling now, how do you continue to ensure that they continue to fall?
Well, we do see positive impacts from programs, harm reduction programs, for example, overdose prevention services, take-home naloxone kits that are distributed, the number of death events, as it is called, that have been averted through that, almost 40,000 death events that have been averted through these kinds of harm reduction services. So we know that actions are working. We know that people are going through treatment and into recovery, and we are hearing stories from survivors. But sadly, we are also hearing that there are some people who don't make it.
So then would you consider the last 10 years a policy success?
I would say there have been some successes and there have been things that didn't work the way that we thought they would. And it's important for all of us to learn and to try new tools, to listen to the experts and take their advice and recommendations, but make public policy decisions too in the context of the society that we're living in. And sometimes that means difficult decisions get taken.
And when you say the society we live in and difficult decisions need to be taken, give me an example of that.
Well, I think the prescribed alternatives, which is a program of providing people who are at the highest risk of toxic drug poisonings, and being able to provide a supply of medicine, and I will call it medicine because that is what it is for somebody, to ensure that they are safe, has been successful. But knowing that the risk of diversion, we want to make sure that prescribed alternatives are only in the hands of the people who need them, for whom they are prescribed. But the risk of that diversion is too much to bear. And so that's where difficult public policy decisions get made, moving to a witnessed model and ensuring that people come into a pharmacy or into a healthcare setting so that consumption is witnessed.
But what is the worst possible consequence?
Well, the worst possible consequence is they find themselves into the hands, I think, of a teenager, say, or a youth that is experimenting and trying something and has bought something from a person that they should not have,
right.
and that leads into a habit or an activity that people, nobody wants to see them have access to that.
But if a kid is going to get their hands on drugs and they get their hands on hydromorphone versus what's going around on the streets, does that mean they're maybe not instantly dead?
Well, maybe it means they're not instantly dead, but it's something we don't want any child, any youth,
Sure.
any person to encounter. But we do want to make sure that those people at highest risk are separated from street drugs and able to use prescribed alternatives for a length of time as they move into other therapies or other treatment and stabilize their lives through other supports like housing. And
You backed off the decriminalization of drugs, and you backed off to a large degree the substitution therapy, which is, the evidence is that it works. The evidence is that it can be very effective. Did you cave to critics on that?
Decriminalization was an important pilot to undertake to look at how we could reduce the stigma, make it easier and safer for somebody who may be hiding their drug use, who may be not sure if they should come forward because of the fear of being criminalized, make it easier for that and treat it for what it really is, a health issue, not a criminal issue. But we saw, and we did the course correction during the decriminalization 3-year pilot to ask Health Canada to narrow the exemption because we saw, although not legal, more public drug use. That was not an intended outcome of decriminalization.
When I spoke with Larry Campbell a little while ago, who has of course been reappointed by the province for another 6 months to be the advisor to the downtown east side, he talked about how the drug supply, and we see evidence to bear this out when we look at the numbers from the coroner service, the drug supply is now less about fentanyl, just marginally less about fentanyl, more about all of the other adulterants, animal tranquilizers, benzodiazepine, all kinds of stuff in there. He says there is no such thing as a substitute for that. Where does that leave us?
That, I think, is probably one of the biggest challenges that we're facing. So we know that opioid agonist treatment, for example, doesn't work for certain kinds of illicit drugs that people are using because of those adulterants and contaminants. And it feels like every time we have some success and we leap forward that we come back because of the ever-evolving and changing toxic drug supply. What that says is it's just as important to invest in that prevention and early intervention about treating and helping people with the root causes of addiction and substance use issues so that we can do everything we can, not just to separate people from the illicit drug supply, but to stop them from using it in the first place.
If we lived in a world where there was no public opinion and there was no politics, and governments weren't susceptible to succumbing to both, and if you didn't have to worry about critics and all you had to do was follow the science? Would we have done this differently?
I think you could probably say that about almost everything, that if we had none of those things. But that's not the world we live in. And the world we live in is one where we have to balance all of these factors in the decisions that we make of how to support people. And we are going to stay focused on the people first and foremost. I think holding people, both those who are living today with substance use and addictions issues and those that we have lost, is absolutely central to my work, to government's work in creating that system of care. Because like any other disease or sickness or injury or accident that a person has, they have the right to receive, they deserve to receive the best care possible. And that's why we're going to stay focused on building out this system of care for people with addictions and substance use issues.
Minister, thank you so much.
Thank you.
After last night's by-election sweep, Mark Carney seems to be in a giving mood, while the PM, now leading a majority government, is handing out gas tax relief. Stay with us.
Hey, I'm Rohith Joseph. Vibin' is the new show all about discovering great new songs and fresh artists from across BC and beyond. Stream Vibin' on CBC Listen.
Back to one of our top stories now. Prime Minister Mark Carney says starting next week, Canadians will get a break from the federal fuel tax. The news came on the heels of the Liberal sweep of Monday's 3 by-elections, which clinched a majority for the government. Ashley Burke has details from Ottawa.
The Prime Minister taking a victory lap after winning in overtime. Carney with Finland's president after scoring a majority government almost a year after the general election. Last night, Canadians elected 3 Liberal MPs, 2 from ridings in Toronto.
Tonight, we celebrate a new beginning.
Another celebrating a victory in a tight Quebec race in Terrebonne. These by-elections combine with 5 MPs who joined the Liberals from opposition parties, how Carney transformed a minority into a majority.
Voters place their trust in Canada's new government's plan.
Carney kicking off this new era with a temporary tax cut into Labor Day, a 10 cents per litre discount on gas, and 4 cents on diesel fuel.
Because of the war with Iran, fuel prices have increased sharply around the world, including right here in Canada. So we're taking more action to help.
It's one item on some Canadians' wish lists.
Well, I think the most pressing issue right now is perhaps lowering the gas taxes to help. I mean, everybody feels that.
I want to see, a better housing market. I want to see, grocery prices going down.
I would like to see a little bit more, I think, aggressiveness or towards what Trump is doing right now.
Carney says the first thing he's doing is addressing the cost of living while building up the economy. A majority means he can pass legislation faster and change how committees run.
Showboating. We're going to have less of that. We're going to have more substance.
The Conservatives say this majority means Carney can't keep accusing them of obstruction.
Absolute power comes with absolute responsibility. They will actually have to get things done. They will have to do so without blaming others.
The Prime Minister shut down speculation he could still call an election or shuffle his cabinet. Instead, Mark Carney said that his government is focused on releasing its next steps in the spring economic statement on April 28th. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Israel and Lebanon have held their first direct talks aimed at stopping the fighting between Israeli forces and Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants in Lebanon. Those hostilities began last month during the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran. And the fragile ceasefire may not hold if the ongoing Israeli offensive in Lebanon doesn't end soon. Chris Brown is on the ground in Lebanon's capital.
Lebanon is a country desperately in need of a break from war, and there's just a glimmer of hope that perhaps these conversations, these direct talks between Israel and Lebanon that are happening today in Washington could provide at least some hope. Here on the ground in Beirut, the mood is of resilience, but also a great deal of weariness. This is one of the strike locations that Israel hit last Wednesday when it reportedly fired at more than 100 targets in just 10 minutes, killing 300 Lebanese. We're right in the center of Beirut, and this is one of the areas that was struck. Buildings here collapsed in the middle, but you can already see quite a lot of reconstruction work. Those white bricks are indications that people are already trying to shore up these buildings, move on with their lives. Since those attacks last Wednesday, the situation's been relatively quiet here in Beirut, but not in southern Lebanon, where the Israeli Defense Forces continue to push further into the country, creating what they call a buffer zone in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah's chief, Naim Qassem, was on television yesterday here calling on the Lebanese government to pull out of these discussions, saying no good can come of them. At the same time as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel was insisting that Israel's attacks on Hezbollah would continue. We had a very quick meeting with a prominent Hezbollah member of Lebanon's parliament, Hussein al-Hajj, Hassan, and I put the question to him what peace with Israel would look like. And his answer to me was that dignity is not for only one side, pride is not for only one side. Being human is to be proud of your people and to be proud of your territory. So both sides are very entrenched here. Right off the bat, though, the major point of contention is, can any more discussions even happen without a ceasefire as long as the fighting is going on? Lebanon says absolutely not, whereas the Israeli government's position is the fighting will continue. Chris Brown, CBC News, Beirut.
Back in this country, if you're feeling the pinch of high food prices, you will want to watch this. A CBC News cross-country investigation has uncovered 2 major grocers overcharging customers for meat. That includes stores right here in BC. Sophia Harris has more now on how they're charging customers not just for the product, but the packaging too.
Karen Weber has a beef. Last year, she bought 4 beef briskets at her local Loblaw-owned superstore in the Halifax area. Turns out they were all underweight. She says a store manager promised to fix the problem. But this year, she bought 4 more briskets, and they too were underweight.
I would have to say I was pissed. Every single package was off. Every single package.
Total calculated overcharge for this year's purchase? $2.58.
Food prices have gone astronomically high for people. They can't be making extra money off of packaging.
Weighing the meats. 1 year ago, CBC uncovered several Loblaw and Sobeys-owned stores selling misweighed meat, which appeared to have been weighed and priced with the packaging, a federal violation. Grocery giant Sobeys and Loblaw said they took steps to tackle the problem.
Let's try one of these.
But 1 year later, CBC uncovered more misweighed meat, like the beef briskets at some Loblaw-owned superstores in the Halifax area. At Sobeys-affiliated stores, CBC found underweight poultry at 2 Safeways and at Thrifty Foods in North Vancouver, plus underweight organic chicken at 2 Farm Boys in the Toronto region. Calculated overcharges range between 2 and 17%.
Obviously, these retail stores are not to be trusted, that the weight on the package is accurate. It's costing the Canadian public millions of dollars each year. That is 412 grams.
This former inspector with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency says the food regulator needs to step up inspections.
They need to be out protecting the consumer from food fraud.
The CFIA says it's committed to protecting Canadians and that it stepped up meat weight inspections following CBC's investigation last year. Loblaw and Sobeys declined on-camera interviews, but in an email, Loblaw apologized for the misweighed beef briskets and said that it has reviewed protocols with staff. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
And you can watch the full story from Sophia Harris, Where's the Beef? Tonight at 10 p.m. on the National or anytime on YouTube and the CBC News app.
The weather update is brought to you by Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
From the beef to the weather, science and climate specialist Darius Madavi here with the BC-wide weather forecast. Perhaps not an apt analogy, but I was just in the flow. Winter's sticking around.
Winter's sticking around. Up in the mountains, more snowfall has been coming down. I was looking at the Whistler website earlier today, a couple hours ago, and their snowfall forecast, but not yet fallen according to their snow report, but still more chances overnight. We have 15 to 25 centimeters still coming down on the Coquihalla. That is the total. Most of that has already fallen at this point, but that snowfall warning will remain in place through this evening and into the overnight hours, more than likely. 15 to 25 centimeters also expected on Highway 3. This one, though, really just started picking up this afternoon, will likely remain in place through tomorrow evening and potentially into tomorrow night. We also had another snowfall warning issued just a few hours ago around Prince George. 10 to 15 centimeters expected there and for other parts of the central interior. Most of that will fall overnight tonight and mostly taper off by early tomorrow morning. We've also seen some thunderstorms in the central interior today, so a bit of an active area for sure in the province. As we get into the next few days, that chance of thunderstorms really becomes confined to the southwestern parts of BC and maybe a few parts of the southern interior and the West Kootenay region. If we look at the precipitation that's going to be moving through, again, a decent amount of snow coming to parts of the interior. We roll this forward and we do see quite a bit of clearing up into Thursday. First, though, throughout the day tomorrow, a few things popping up. Most of the shower and precipitation activity that's going to be happening on the south coast is convective. So that's why we have that chance of thunderstorms in places like Victoria, Tofino, and even here on the lower mainland. Slighter chance, I'd say, on the lower mainland, but still there. Whistler as well, risk of a thunderstorm there. Thursday, much calmer, much clearer. We also saw some very strong winds in the southern interior today. Those are not expected to return into tomorrow. That calmer weather continues into Friday, but maybe more cloud building in. And then the next frontal system, next feed of moisture really, expected to start coming in on the weekend for the north and central coast, and then make its way down south to the south coast by Sunday. Temperatures are going to be recovering as we get into Thursday. First, a little bit of falling temperatures in some areas tomorrow, but then start to come up again as we get into Thursday and Friday in the southern interior. Temperatures keep going up to 15, 16 degrees or so. Again, watch out for risk of thunderstorms in many areas tomorrow, especially on the south coast, but also in places like the West Kootenay. And here's our 5-day forecast, Dan. A couple days of a bit more sun, and then the cloud builds back in.
Okay.
Warmer, though.
We'll take it. Thanks. From retro to modern, coming up, we'll take you to a brand new pinball arcade on Commercial Drive that's ringing in some new fans.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
CBC returns as the exclusive media partner of the Doxa Documentary Film Festival, April 30th to May 10th. Doxa presents an exceptional selection of films and events that cultivate curiosity and critical thought. Festival tickets at doxafestival.ca. And join us on Saturday, April 18th at the Surrey Vasaki Festival and Parade. Drop by the CBC tent and win some fun CBC prizes.
It's a game that at one point seemed destined for the museum, but today, pinball is big again.
I love it, and it's drawing a whole new fan base. We checked out a new pinball arcade on Vancouver's Commercial Drive.
Come on, let's get in character.
I've always loved pinball for 20 years, and I feel I just keep on trying to put them in more bars and pubs. My name is Angelo Miro, and I guess I'm a pinball operator. I own about 150 pinball machines. It took me 22 years to collect the pinball machines. I started collecting pinballs because you couldn't really find them much in the wild, as they say, in arcades. They were kind of a dying, and if I did drive somewhere far away to see it, it might be there, but it was in poor condition. Dirty, flippers like really weak, switches didn't work. So I just wanted to play pinball, so I had to just basically, the best thing to do is buy one, fix it up myself, restore it, and then enjoy it to play. Pinball is just open to easy to everyone. You know, it's not very intimidating, and it's also a game that's tactile, that you grab and touch and feel, and you move, and it's all part of the game. And so today a lot of our lives are in screens, including myself. I'm on my phone, looking at my phone on the TV, and it's just nice to take a break from that and to go to something real and physical. I mean, if you think about the pinball community as a whole, there's hundreds, possibly thousands of people, and it's definitely growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. Like when I was into it, 15, 20 years ago, I got to know everyone's name. And now I'm a big part of it. Most people know my name, but I don't know everyone's name. It's so cool to like meet new people and find out how they got started into pinball and what drives them and what things that they like in pinball.
So cool. And say no to weak flippers, people. It's a scourge.
Of all the machines you saw there, which one would you go for?
Oh, that Pulp Fiction one looked pretty good. I did Pac-Man. I think there wasn't a Pac-Man one. What was it? Maybe Conan the Barbarian?
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm old.
Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, YouTube, and our website.
And we'll have your next local news at 11 o'clock, right after the National. Good night.